That last piece of film there was a little propaganda piece put out by the 1st TAC Fighter Wing. They're one of the biggest units on base. Showed just a little bit of our squadron, not a whole lot, so I'm gonna walk around and show some more. Right here we got the entrance to it. Got to get through our gate guard and a machine gun bunker. All along here, underneath the camo, we've got tents set up just like the ones that we're living in back at Tent City, but unair conditioned. They put them up in case we ever need to evacuate Tent City and move up here. Up here, we've got showers set up. Although not sure if I want to take one after the water's been sitting out all night. It's been getting pretty cold here. And then the bathrooms, elegant as they are. Not really much to see out this side. We're right on the edge of the base, so about half a mile that way is one of the major highways through Dhahran. Got one of our defensive fighting positions. Should they ever decide terrorist threat is up, we'll start manning these, 2 or 3 people with rifles. Up on the hill there, you can sort of see another one. Like I said, there's not much to see out this way. This is our radar dish. It's basically one of the most important pieces in the squadron. We use it to get an air picture, all the planes up in the air, just about for the entire kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We can see a little ways into Iraq, Kuwait, over into Israel with the help of the AWACS. Unfortunately, also, this thing works like a giant beacon. Whenever it's emitting, everybody knows exactly where we are, so they can bomb us should they choose. Got the basketball court that we put together. Over here we've got one of our main SATCOM antennas. I'm not sure exactly what they're linked up with, but they're shooting satellite data down to UAE, the United Arab Emirates, back to the United States. This is one of our bunkers here. I designed most of this one and did a lot of the work on it. Apparently this was an old, some sort of vehicle maintenance area. It's all around we've got concrete slabs to be the foundations and stuff. And anywhere we'd find a slab, we'd pretty much locate the edge of it, start digging under it, and use that for a bunker. And this thing right here, it's an old vehicle ramp. You know, the kind of vehicles that drive up of and mechanics can get underneath them to work on. They just roofed it over with some plywood, threw sand up around it to use it as a bunker. This took us about, a month to build. There's no light down in there, so I'm not going to go too far, but it goes about 15 feet in there. We've got all the walls reinforced, shored up with plywood. volleyball net, the volleyball court here. Can't really see much of what the equipment looks like, but it's all covered in camouflage. But I'll go in a few of the vans here and show you what's what. This is one of the vans I work on. It's about the closest thing we've got to a computer here, and it's still pretty much garbage. It's called the Sensi Communications Nodal Control Element. Use it to condition all sorts of analog signals. You can boost the levels. You can route digital signals through here, encrypt them, decrypt them, send them through modems, whatever. You can see a VDT, the keyboard there. It's one of the only things we work on that even looks like a computer. In here we've got the one I originally went to school for, the Tech 30. It's an electronic telephone switching system.
How long? 30 minutes, I didn't know about that, right?
These are a couple of our operators.
Good old RBT.
Inside, show you what it is. Smile.
You guys do some Hamilton and just dinner along.
This is the operator's console. Make all the calls from here. Patch up various people on the site. Just quick run through here. All the circuit cards. This is where we patch up all the telephones. Decide which telephone goes out which line. There's not really a whole lot of use for this thing here. All we use it for is site telephones, calling from one piece of equipment to the other. There wasn't really much of a reason to bring it, but they wanted to for some reason. Right next to us here we've got the Army Patriot missiles. They're anti-missile missiles, which means they're supposed to shoot down anything that's coming at us. They've never actually been tested in wartime, but supposedly they've got a 98% accuracy rate. We're hoping so. We figure they're our early warning system. If we see those things going off, we know we better take cover. More of the desert. This is right in back of our shelter where we hang out. This is the laundry service. A couple of tubs, a jug of water, and a clothesline. Right here we've got the wideband communications set up. These are a couple of microwave dishes that shoot information down to our remote site. And over here, it doesn't look like much. This antenna is what hooks up to a thing called an ASIT band, Adaptable Surface Interface Terminal. That's what we use to talk to all the AWACS and get information from them. And our shop maintains it. I don't personally, but I figure I'm gonna read all the books we have on it and then maybe try and convince them when I get out at Tinker that I've had experience on it. Maybe I can get a job with the AWACS. I'll pan through here. Off this way, not sure if you can see it, past the missile. These things here, they've got concrete outdoor hangars for all the F-15s all over the base. And then about all we have this way is lots of sand. Not exactly sure if you can see this, don't know how much light we have, but this is another of our bunkers. The Army dug a pit here and then buried, let's see, about a concrete culvert pipe about a foot thick. This one's probably about the safest one we've got, even though there's not much room. And there at the end we've got some of our anti-war protests spray painted on the walls. This is all you can see of that bunker from the outside. It runs from that end, that's where I was filming, straight across there to the exit. So it's pretty well protected. This is kind of noisy. Right over here, we've got all our generators. They provide the 400 hertz, 120 volt power all through the site. And right down here, we've got another of our bunkers. I'm gonna see if I can go into this one while filming without killing myself. This one's pretty impressive. We didn't dig this one, but we moved in with another shop here, so we sort of inherited it. It's dug the same way underneath some sort of foundation. Hopefully you can see all this. It runs for a ways down here. Plenty of room to stand up. We've got another tunnel running off this way. You can probably just barely see the light at the end. There's another exit over here. Going out. Down here, got the home of our pet rat. He's probably not in there right now, but we built him a little habit trail sort of down there. Over here we've got a real small gym facility, exercycle, weight bench. Inside the tent we've got another weight bench. This big mess here is where we actually work. And I'll take you inside there in just a second. Thing there is the bubble. You saw it on that other tape where all the operators sit and they control the flights. You can't go in there right now. They had to get special permission when they filmed it because most everything in there is classified. Our storage shed. These right here are two separate shelters we put together. That's where we just sort of hang out. Not much to see in here. There's Glenn cooking for New Year's party.
New Year's party, chicken and burgers.
We got a fridge, a real one, and a homemade one. Our microwave. Entertainment system. And the tree. Here we've got our radar again. Don't know why they stopped it turning, probably doing some work on it. Another bunker. They're all over the site. Gonna go in here in a minute. This is our MWR tent, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. They've got VCR, Nintendo game, books, stuff like that. We were supposed to get a satellite dish, but they set it up, messed with it for about 2 weeks, and decided they couldn't figure out how to work it. No one brought the instructions over here. This is our command post. Over here we've got job control. They keep track of Kool-Aid. They keep track of all the equipment that's up and down, things like that. So of course the people who do the least work here get the nicest building. Over here we've got our site defense board. In case we get attacked, they can pinpoint. Stop that. In case we get attacked, they can decide where we're being attacked from. In there we've got the commander's office.
Now that would be calculus book I use.
Sure. It looks like it.
Stop it, I'll be fast.
Okay, you're on. Lieutenant Morgan, what do you do?
Communications.
She gets on our nerves.
Not as much as you do.
Communications, that's just it. Sit around,
Sorry for
wait to go home.
2 minutes.
Okay.
These guys, that's about it.
And make everybody get fat by bringing in tent.
This here is a lot of what we do during the day. Just anything to kill time. Several people have bought radio-controlled cars, but unfortunately, we all bought the cheap ones. So there's only 2 frequencies that they run on. So if you get more than 2 cars out here, they interfere with each other. Oops. Good thing they're heavy duty. The weather's been getting pretty chilly.
Not very tired, Bill.
Uh-oh. That's Bob. Here.
Jackson in. It's broken.
I totaled my truck. The weather's been getting pretty chilly here. Cold enough at night that you gotta turn the heat on in the tent, sleep under a blanket. The only good thing about that, oh, totaled it again. The only good thing about that is that it makes the days a lot more comfortable. Nothing really happening for extend the antenna on it. Nothing really happening here for New Year's. We had a big Christmas dinner back at the tents, but I don't think they've got anything planned for New Year's party. Getting closer to their January 15th deadline here. So they've said they're gonna stop letting people have days off and start canceling tours into town, things like that. Oh, speaking of tours, that tour that they've got on the tape, I don't know where they picked that up from, because it's not the one that we get to go on. All we ever get to see is just the mall right in the middle of town. Sort of the tourist trap. There's not really a whole lot else out here to show you. Everything between this site here and where we're living is the flight line, and you can't take a camera out there. One of the Army's Humvees. We've got a lot of Army people, British Air Force people working here on site. It's about, I don't know, 80 degrees or so out here right now. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Over here, that's our only water, just about our only water supply on the entire site. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this thing down to Tent City and film some stuff or not. A lot of people on the site are usually wanting to use it. But that little thing they had earlier pretty much went through everything I could show you. Well, that's about it. Seeing the site, seeing what we do. It's not the greatest of videos, but it'll do. Show you real quick here. Everybody's got their gas masks. We've got the full chemical suits, but the gas mask is the only thing that's out. All the other stuff we keep it separate, or keep it sealed, so it won't get worn out before we need to use it. Move in a little closer so you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me in this, it's pretty muffled, but we're supposed to be able to live in these things for days at a time. You can drink out of them, you can't eat through them. Inside the lenses here, you've got eyeglasses. I guess about as long as you can drink through it, or as long as you can live in them, as long as you make one canteen last, because that's all we've got. Once that's out of water, you can't refill it. This is basically how you drink. We've got a little straw on the inside, you can suck through. Get rid of this. These things are bad enough when we're wearing them out down in Florida. Out here in the middle of the desert, they get pretty hot. And that's about it. Miss you. Don't know when we'll be home. We keep getting rumors left and right. But I'll see you when I'm back.